What is good, YouTube? Today we're back with another gym guide. As you could probably guess from the title, the video is about correct technique and form when working out. We're going to go through general tips for how to train each muscle group, and we have hand-picked some exercises a lot of people do incorrectly, and we'll show you the correct form and why it's right. Back. When training the back, it is important to keep a good posture to prevent injuries. You also want to have a good mind-muscle connection. This means that you focus on the muscle you're training, you don't simply do the exercise. First exercise, deadlift. When doing a deadlift, the most important thing to remember is to keep your back straight. You don't want to be training your spine and risk injuring yourself. How to deadlift? Retracting your shoulder blades is a very easy way to make sure your back is straight. When you have a straight back, you're able to lift with the whole body instead of putting the load on the spine. It also leads to a greater power output, meaning you can lift more and target the muscles better. Seated cable row. When doing this exercise, it is important that you let your back fully stretch and contract for maximum gains. So when doing this, you want to lean forward to stretch and then pull backwards for the squeeze. When doing this, it's also very important to focus on pulling with your lats and not your arms, so you train your back instead of getting massive biceps. Now, it's also a good thing to keep in mind to practice safe sets. An important thing to remember when doing any exercise that includes a barbell and weights is to use clips. Clips stop the weight from falling off the bar or just gliding around, making you lose focus. Bicep curls. In this machine, it is important that the pad you have your arms on is in the correct position. If the seat is too high up, which it is in this case, only the elbow touches and not the rest of your triceps. So you want to lower the seat so that when sitting down you can comfortably rest your triceps on the pad. Legs. When training legs, it is important that you are careful with pressing movements so you don't overextend with your legs as you might injure them. Apart from that, focusing on a slow concentric and eccentric is also very good, so you can maximize time under tension. Leg press is a great quad builder, but you have to remember two important things. 1. When doing a full extension on leg press, it is important that you don't lock your legs out, because if you do let your legs lock out, you risk bending them backwards and injuring yourself. Second, slow and controlled reps are the best when it comes to building great legs. So keep in mind that you have a slow, concentric and eccentric. Next is leg extension. For leg extensions, it is important to make sure that the pad you're pushing is placed in the correct position, right above your feet. You also want to have a short pause at the top and then control the weight when going down to increase the muscle's time under tension. Calf raise. When doing calf raises, it is important that you stretch the calf and fully contract it, just like with your back. Now as you can see, no stretch is achieved due to the machine being set up for a taller person. In this case, you want to lower the pads so that the weight is on you all the way throughout your range of movement. Chest. When training your chest, you always want to angle your arms in a way so that they align with your muscle fibers as much as possible. So when doing an incline dumbbell press, you want your arms at around a 45-degree angle from your body. You also want to control the weight the whole way, staying as stable as possible. Chest flies. When using this machine, it is important, just like any other machine, to get a proper stretch and contraction. Now, two things you can do to get a better stretch and contraction is to keep your arms straight and move the arms of the machine further back. By moving the arms back, your chest has to stretch more, giving you a better range of motion as well as a better stretch. When performing the rep, you want to fully extend your arms on the concentric, and on the eccentric you must bend the arms as to remove tensions from your bicep. Incline dumbbell press. When doing this exercise, it is important to remember to control the weight and also to keep your arms at around 45 degrees. This way you minimize injury risk for your shoulders. Bench press. For this exercise you have to apply all the rules for the chest that I've already mentioned. Another important thing to focus on is your wrists. A common mistake people make is letting their wrist fall backwards, which can increase the risk of you dropping the bar, getting sore wrists, and less power output when benching. So make sure your wrists are upright and in line with your forearms at all time. The best way to remember is to picture on screen. Shoulders. When training shoulders, it is also important to do the same thing as when training chest, which is keeping your arms in line with your muscle fibers, which is often roughly 45 degrees. This gives you better activation, is safer, and also a lot easier. When doing any cable movements for the shoulders, you want the cable to be in line with your arms, especially when doing a cable rear delt fly or a cable lateral raise, so you feel it in your shoulder. Now, there's a lot of things I haven't covered in this video, which we're going to have to cover in another video. So I hope you enjoyed today's video. Don't forget to use code creatine at Retaliation Project to get 10% off. And if you enjoyed the video, like, subscribe, tell a friend about it, and I'll see you in the next one.